So I'm going to move these comments out of the way and we'll jump into it. And like usual, I will show your comments on the screen and answer in any way that I can when I can. And we'll take it from there. All right, so the first thing here is a few weeks ago, actually it's probably exactly 2 weeks ago, I made a video on the Elementor global color palette and how to set that up and convert an existing site over to the Elementor color palette. But up until this point, right now, working with the Elementor color palette was almost like double the work, right? So if you're using a WordPress theme, got to set your colors in there. And then if you're using Elementor, you want to set your colors in the global color palette as well. So you have this double work that's going on. But not anymore. And I'm going to show this really cool Elementor integration that was just released. And I'm going to show you why it can really change the speed at which you can release new websites. Let me show you here. So here I am. This is all done in Elementor, as you can see right here. And it's using the Cadence theme. Now, the Cadence theme just released a new update. It's in the WordPress theme directory, by the way. On your website, if you wanted to test it out, you could go to Themes, Add New, search for the word Cadence, boom, it's right there. But check this out. So the Cadence theme already has a globally linked color palette. This is the feature that was just added to Elementor in Elementor version 3, being able to set up a global color palette. Well, the theme has it as well. Most themes don't have a globally linked color palette. That's where you can, instead of setting a specific color for something, you can link it to a series of colors. And if you ever want to change that color in the future, you would go back to the color palette, change it there, and it changes across your entire website. So in the Cadence theme, you have it right here under colors, and you can see it right here. Now check this out. This is an Elementor template. If I go here and change a color, which should be probably like this, kind of like an orange color, you can see everywhere it's linked. Right here it's linked. It's linked on the little outline here for the hover. Headings, when you hover here, it lifts up. Actually, I don't like that color that much. It's not that good. I think it looks kind of weird. Let's go with maybe like a friendly blue or something like that. And there you go. Now it's blue. It's all linked right here. This heading right here, I happen to have linked to this color. So let's set something different there. There we go. It's probably not ideal, but there it is. So I just set the color here. Check this out. When I click on publish and I get out of here, it just changed it all throughout the entire website where it was linked in Elementor. Let me go into Elementor right now. And I'm going to tell you why this is a big deal and why and how this could make your workflow so much faster. So here I am in Elementor. And I go into the site settings and I go into global colors and check this out. It says theme global colors. What the Cadence theme, and it's the first theme and the only theme that's doing this, is it's taking that globally linked color palette and it's pushing it into Elementor and it's keeping the two in sync. So now whenever you choose a color inside of Elementor, you're linking it to one of these colors right here. Remember, I just changed it. You just saw me change it, and here we are in Elementor, and those colors are available. It pushes those colors right into Elementor, keeps them in sync. Why is this a big deal? Well, for me, actually here, let me show you one last thing, how to actually link the color. Most of you Elementor users, and this is all free Elementor and free Cadence theme, okay? So most of you guys that use Elementor already know. So here's a heading. I just go to the style, and then where it says text color, I can click here, and then here are the theme colors. Instead of the theme accent, I'll just choose this strong text right there, so it looks kind of normal. Here's why this matters. Have you ever tried to use an Elementor template from someone? Have you ever tried to use a full site template from maybe another theme provider? What happens the minute you try to use it? It's Your next step is to customize it, right? You want to change the typography. You want to change your colors. Well, good luck with that, because it's manually set in every single location. You can't just go to a centralized spot, make a change, and have it change across your entire website. That's why I think most templates are kind of smoke and mirrors. You know, when I hear someone say, oh, there's a lot of templates here, a lot of templates there, it's all smoke and mirrors because there's so much work involved to go in there and, number one, find every place that color is manually set or that font is manually set, and then change it. It's more work than it's worth in a lot of cases. It would almost be just easier to visually see the layout and just recreate it in some instances. So what you have happen is, with the templates that Cadence theme is about to start releasing, you're going to be able to go in there either in the theme or in Elementor, change the colors to exactly what you want them to be, change the fonts to exactly what you want them to be without having to dig around and find it all. Just one little location, just like you saw. That's all there is to it. I could change the color here inside of Elementor as well. I could have changed the color and then it syncs back to the theme. Check this out. Here is one of the templates that are coming, and they're making these for Elementor and for Gutenberg. I'm not selling you anything here either. I'm just really excited about this. There's nothing to buy. This is going to be free. So here's a template that's going to be coming out this month. All these templates and their updated template delivery system comes out later this month. But here's one right here. Tell me this isn't beautiful. I mean, this is going to be ideal for any software as a service or app or something like that. So literally think about it. If you don't like these blues, that's going to be used all throughout the site. You could just go, hop in the customizer, change the blue to whatever you want, and everywhere it changes. It'll change on the heading, it'll change on the button, it'll change everywhere that blue is linked. Same thing for the typography. Just change it to whatever typography you want, and you could rapidly customize this. And then it really is just about images and text and changing some layout. But you can see here, this is beautiful. Obviously, these are some custom images. So if you did have an app that you wanted to put in here, or if you make websites, this would be also adaptable if you're an agency that makes websites for people, right? You could show a website here, maybe show a mobile version of it, and as they scroll down, people can see the different highlights of what you offer, the service that you offer. This is just the homepage I'm showing you right now. It's nice call to action there at the bottom. Here's another one, and this is what you actually just saw. So this is how the design is going to look. But honestly, these templates would be nearly pointless without this globally linked system. It would almost be completely pointless because so much effort goes into changing the colors, so much effort goes into changing the typography, but you won't have that problem when you're using these. So this is what the design looks like. You saw I was just in it. It's very complete. And then here's their e-commerce one that's coming out as well. It's you could adapt it to whatever you want. But honestly, if I was to use this, I probably wouldn't go with the blue. I would probably change the blue to something else. And what's nice is everything is linked and in sync. So in this example, you have this bar at the top. This bar at the top is done with the theme. The whole header is done with its drag and drop header and footer builder. So this top bar area is that. But see, the same centrally color palette that generates this blue also generates this blue. So you can literally change it in one little change and change the look and feel of your entire website. Anyways, I really like this design right here. I think it could be adapted to most e-commerce things that you might want to do. It's nice. As well. And so anyways, they're making these for Elementor and they're going to be for Gutenberg. I really think that it's a nice advancement towards making websites more future-proof. You know, and a lot of people I think might not fully understand the power of having a globally linked color palette. No other theme really has that, just so you know. They let you set colors, but then it's just, you're still manually selecting those colors. You can't just go to the one place you configured them, change it there, and then it changes everywhere. You still have to go to like 50 different places to set a different color. But you're not having that with the globally linked color palette. I would imagine in the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see more and more themes adapting and coming up with something similar. Any feature you come out with in WordPress in a product that's good, and there's other smart developers that are paying attention, they're going to copy a feature. There's nothing bad about that. They're going to copy it within 6 to 8 months. So you really only have 6 to 8 months lead time. But anyways, I like this. I do like that the Cadence theme, number one, is in the repo. Number two, they're innovating. They're actually coming up with creative ideas. They're innovating. They're trying things to make the process of having a website a whole heck of a lot easier. I've looked at the templates. I am very particular when it comes to design. I can look at something and I could say it's horrible, and then I could show it to 10 other people and they'll think it's the most beautiful thing. So I'm very critical when it comes to design. I think these designs are fantastic. The designs that I was showing you, this one, I really like this SaaS one right here for an app. I think these designs are better than all the others. I've looked at every single theme in their templates. These, I think, totally take the cake. They totally take the cake. There's another one, I don't have it to show you, that's coming. It's for an individual that might be a business professional or an individual selling courses, kind of like a personality type of thing. A lot of businesses are revolving around an individual's personality. That's what it's going to be for. So you would get that template, change your colors, change the typography, change the image to have an image of you, and it looks really good. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that. Let me look at some of these comments here. Apollo, no, Cadence is in the theme directory right now. You could go to WordPress's website, go on themes and search for Cadence, and it's there. Now there's the popular list. It's not featured in the popular list because they just on Tuesday or Monday got added to the directory. It takes like a week or two for it to get added to the popular list, and it will be one of the top 10 themes for sure as soon as it gets added to that list, maybe in a week or two. I don't know actually how long that takes, but it's there and it's freely available. Tons of people are writing positive reviews about it that have, enjoyed having it. Stratus is saying, oh, you do have a comparison between Elementor Hello and Cadence and Cadence and Gutenberg. Cadence and Gutenberg, of course, will be faster, but there's probably ways to tweak Elementor to have it kind of get closer. It's just more work. All right. This is hard to answer because I don't want to be mean. People are kind of tribal when it comes to their themes. So Cadence versus GTMetrix, it's very difficult. I mean, I know what I would say, but I don't want to be, let's just put it this way. Cadence theme is really innovating. This integration they just added with Elementor, their focus on templates, their integration with Gutenberg, not to mention the e-commerce features in it you're not getting elsewhere, the drag and drop header and footer builder. That's a big one for me. Might not be for everybody else, but it's definitely a big one for me. I love the drag and drop header builder. Hey, Gerald. Sorry, I get a little direct. Hey, you always know where I stand. I'll tell you. Okay, so are these new templates to be added to the current 6? So what they're doing is there's the Cadence Starter Templates plugin that has those 6 templates just for Gutenberg. So these are going to be for Elementor and Gutenberg. That plugin is going to be relaunched, the Cadence Starter Templates. And so you're going to be able to, 1, choose whether you want the Elementor version or the Gutenberg version. 2, you're going to be able to, I think they're doing this. I'm not positive if they're going to pull it off this month, but you're going to be able to import individual page templates. So you don't have to have the whole site. You can just take a page from it if you wanted. But there's a third thing, and that's the big challenge when it comes to templates, is when you're looking at a template, you see how it is with the colors that it's selected and the fonts that are selected. So you have to choose how you have to decide, or you have to somehow get someone to understand that when they import it to their site, if they wanted to inherit the colors and the fonts they've already chosen, it's going to look a little different when they import it. So it's not going to look identical to the template. It will look identical to the template if you want those colors and you want that typography. So when you have individual page template imports, you just have to be prepared for that. So I think what they're trying to do is have an option. So you could say, I want this individual page. And then you say, do you want it to get the styling that is in your theme customizer, which is probably what everyone would want, or do you want it to look exactly like the template? So that's the challenge when it comes to letting people import individual page templates. So that's coming. All right. Okay. That's funny. Okay. Here's a question, and then I'm going to move on. Do we need Elementor Pro to use the full features of Kadence theme? It's up to you. I think the free Elementor is going to be totally fine. Now, Elementor Pro does offer some things, right? They offer dynamic content. You can make templates for like all of your blog posts, make it as a template. You can customize the archive page. There's a lot of cool things you could do. Some of that's actually going to be in the pro version of Kadence. They're working on dynamic content right now. So yesterday, was it yesterday? November 5th, today's November 6th. Oh my gosh, yesterday, a very important update came out to WooCommerce. Now, when I saw the update come out, I have a Slack channel and I have it configured so WooCommerce updates notifications going to the Slack channel. So I see these things right when they come out. I saw that and I immediately posted it in the WP Crafter Facebook group. If you're not in there, I'm sure a lot of you are, or everyone is. Definitely go in there because that's where I can push out quick information. But check this out. I had actually heard about this, some reports of this, people that were having this happen to them. But I didn't pay enough attention to it until I saw this security advisory. So they sent out this security advisory that basically said, you got to update WooCommerce because there's bots exploiting kind of a, not a vulnerability. This was not a security thing, but there was a setting inside of WooCommerce that even if you had it set, it wasn't like working. Anyways, so there was a lot of WooCommerce stores that were getting spam orders from bots. So I'll put this in the video description so you can read about it and the details. One of the things, basically the TLDR is update ASAP. Especially if you're seeing this, definitely update. It's funny, when I posted this in the Facebook group, people were saying, oh, I've seen that. That happened to me. That happened to my customer. So definitely do that. I mean, it's not security. No one's hacking into your website, but it's creating a bunch of spam orders in there. So let's see right here. So the issue was a vulnerability. This prior version contains a vulnerability that will allow guest users. So these are people that don't have an account on your website and they're not logged in. It allows guest users to create accounts during the checkout, even if you have it set so they couldn't do that. So you're getting a lot of spam accounts being created on your WordPress site. It was a mess. For some websites, I would think some, definitely not the majority of websites. But anyways, what's crazy is they go into such detail here, which is good for transparency purposes to go into detail like this. But then there's a list of here what to do if you're affected. Obviously, you're going to have to upgrade or update WooCommerce, but then it's also recommending to delete any of these accounts that were created by the bot. So you're going to have to go into users, see a list of users, the ones that are obviously from bots, just highlight them all and then delete them all. It's actually Very simple and easy. There's nothing destructive about deleting users, and you probably will be able to spot them. There'll probably be a lot of email addresses that just look spammy, or they might have follow a similar pattern, or maybe the extension at the second part of the emails .ru, something like that. No offense to anyone that actually has a Russian email account, but I get those spam bots on my website, and it's always at blah blah .ru. Here it's just important that you update, and that's all that I wanted to bring up about this. And I gotta say, WooCommerce has been doing a great job this year. It's funny, I'm saying that after this is actually minor. It's more of an inconvenience, but they've been doing a great job this year of pushing the envelope of what you could do with WooCommerce. They have injected a lot more marketing inside of WooCommerce, the plugin, which I don't particularly like. However, there is a free plugin that removes it all. So if you don't like the new WooCommerce admin, I like it. But if you don't like it, it can disable that. It can disable the marketing tab. It can disable all that stuff. I should find out the name of that plugin for people that want it. Let me see here. I'm going to go and let's see if I can find it. All right. I'm going to find this for you. I think it must be WooCommerce. Let's see, clean maybe? Let's see. How would I search for this? To clean WooCommerce. Darn it. I don't know the name of it. I just came across it and I thought this is actually really cool. Oh, there it is. Right there with the big old X. Disable WooCommerce bloat. Check this out. So this does a lot of things. I think it's all listed. Yep, right here. Disable WooCommerce bloat. What it's going to do is it's going to, and this is all the stuff that was kind of added this year that I just said is good. Anyways, this all came this year with WooCommerce version 4. So the WooCommerce admin dashboard, it'll get rid of that. The new analytics. I like the new analytics though. Get rid of the notification bar, the marketing hub. I'm not too fond of the marketing hub. And get rid of the home screen. And so it does all that stuff right here. I think it's kind of cool that this kind of stuff exists. There it is. You can see right there. So the dashboard, all this kind of new stuff they added, it just gets rid of it and doesn't load it. So if you're someone that doesn't like these new changes to WooCommerce, you definitely have an option. I got to say, I really appreciate WordPress for these very reasons. If something happens, there's alternatives, meaning there's ways of cleaning it up and stuff like that. Expiring today is the Spotlight Instagram feed plugin. I wanted to first remind you that it's expiring. As a matter of fact, it's right here. There's only 7 days left. Not 7 days, 7 hours left. It expires today. It's an Instagram feed plugin, and I want to show you one way that you can integrate this with WooCommerce, or you could add some call to actions to your Instagram feed. These are the prices that are good for another 7 hours, and it represents up to a 77% off savings. So these are lifetime licenses. So if you want it for 3 sites, $99, 100 sites for an agency, $224 for guys like me. The $149 is the sweet spot, and includes lifetime updates and 3 years of support. It's a great plugin. So let me show you this. So I demonstrated this in several videos this week. And one of the things I wanted to show you was, here's a page I created where it's just a hashtag feed. And what I had done is set it up automatically. So when someone clicked on a picture, it would take them to a page on my website that would feature the service. So in this case, we're showing pictures of kitchens. And so if the thought being for a kitchen remodel, but there's also something I didn't show you is there's another behavior you can have happen when someone clicks on the image. So let me click on this image. You see right here, we have the pop-up light box that shows the image. Now with Instagram, if you have videos, it would pop and show the video. If you have a post on Instagram with multiple images, this can pop up and the visitor can scroll through the images. But check this out. Right here, we have a call to action. This is automatically added using Spotlight Instagram feed. you can add a call to action. Now, I spoke to the Spotlight WP today. I'm going to show you how to do this. It takes like 2 seconds. They're going to make this call to action have some more styling options so that it will stand out, because kind of right now when you see it, it just kind of blends in with the white here. But if this area where it's white in the background was maybe a color that kind of pops out a little bit, maybe your brand color, and then maybe the call to action is in a white font, it would visually stand out more. But you can have a hashtag feed or any of the feeds, you can automatically add this call to action, and it's so easy. So what I did is, here's my Instagram feeds plugin, and here's my feeds that I've set up. If I click on promotions, this is where you can have automated promotions, and so you could choose how this automation works. So I'm kind of blocking it right here, but you can see for this automated promotion, I have a rule set that any post that has this particular tag, which is hashtag kitchen design. So if this was your own images coming in from your own feed, when you're taking a picture and you're posting it to Instagram, just put a hashtag and set up separate feeds, and it will pick up that hashtag and automatically slap on this call to action for you. So we have right here, let me get back out right here. So we have it set up. Actually, this is what I wanted. We have our hashtag here, the promotion type, it's going to take them to a link. And right here is where it says link directly. So when you have it say linked directly, it's going to, when someone clicks on the image, just take them to the URL. In this case, I'm having it go to a page, a particular page. But if you uncheck this, then you can enter the text right here where I put get started today. You can enter in whatever text, and you can also have it open up in a new tab. So this is going to be great for e-commerce applications. The usefulness, or what helps someone decide to buy something, is when they can see themselves in the product. So if it's a shirt, seeing people wear the shirt, or if it's a hat, seeing people wearing the hat. So you will pull those in via your Spotlight Instagram feed, and based upon the hashtag, you'll know what the product is. And even if it's a category of products, say hats, and your store sells lots of different items, categories of items, but one of the categories is hats. Well, every time the hashtag, whatever you create it to be for hats, is there, you can make it so when someone's visually looking at the image and they click on it, they can go through the gallery, and there's the call to action that can say, buy one of our hats now. And they click on it, and it can maybe take them to the category page for all of the hats that are available. There's lots of different ways that you could use this. If you're a local business and you want to have your services, well, you can post your picture, hashtag it based upon the service, and this will automatically apply the call to action based upon what you put as the hashtag, so it can go to the right service on your website. So this is another useful use for this. So if you're interested in this, this goes away in 7 hours. The last deal we did, special offer like this, when it ended. People to this day are asking, is that available? Can I get it? And it's just no. These are here for a specific period of time, and then they're gone. And the timer's right here at 7 hours, which is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I know a lot of people have been really enjoying this plugin. It's a great plugin, and you can do a lot with it. And so for me personally, I'm working on redesigning my website. It's long overdue for that. A couple of my websites, but the main one I'm talking about is WPCrafter. And I want to have an Instagram feed that is on that site and a couple other sites that I have. And what I'm going to be doing is when I post pictures or videos to Instagram, I'll put a hashtag strategically so it'll just go to this website, or just go to this website, or just be on this section of this website, like that, and it will automatically be parsed out into separate Instagram feeds and placed into different locations and different websites based upon those hashtags. You can do lots of cool things. More cool features are coming. And so this is one that I just wanted to make sure I mentioned, especially as there's only 7 hours left in this. Okay, so I leave that out there. Oh, to get to that page, by the way, you could go to WPCrafter.com/spotlightwp, and that will take you to the special pricing page. You won't see it on their normal website. And we have the founder here, and he will answer any questions you have as they come in. But it's a very powerful feature. Okay, and next, I'm excited about this. So it's funny, most people actually don't even know this, that I actually have a plugin called Cart Flows, and there's a free version of it and a pro version of it. And Cart Flows allows you to make custom checkout experiences, sales funnels using WordPress. And we have been releasing a lot of neat things this year, and it's all in preparation for our bigger vision for the plugin. But we just had a big update yesterday morning, and what we've been doing this month, or probably for the last 4 weeks, is we've been adding native integrations with various page builders. So now when you use Cart Flows, and I'm talking about the free version, so this isn't go buy something, the free version. I'm going to demonstrate the free version for you right now. We released Elementor modules. So now you can visually design your custom WooCommerce checkout pages. Then right after that, we added custom modules for Beaver Builder. And yesterday we added custom modules or blocks for Gutenberg. And let me show you how this works. So Cart Flows, to add it to your website, you would just go to Plugins, Add New, and do a search for Cart Flows. So Plugins, Add New, and we'll just do a quick little search here. And it'll pull right up, and it's actually on fire. These are actually both Cart Flows plugins, and Cart Flows, I'm the co-founder. So we have this right here. You can see it's on fire. It's probably about 150,000 websites are using it. It's by far the most popular plugin of its type. So you would go to, after you install it, we would go to Flows, and we would click on Add New. And these are all built using Elementor. So you would just choose the one you want. There's free ones, and the pro ones just have a badge. And you would just click on Import, and then it imports it. I've already gone ahead and imported this one right here. And then it lists out our sales funnel. So we have in this sales funnel, we have a landing page that goes to a checkout page. And then after someone purchases, it takes them to a thank you page. And you can custom design all of these. But this is what's new. Let me click on Edit, and this you can see is all done using Gutenberg, but what's new is we have blocks. So I'm going to scroll down, and our templates, we're in the process of converting them all over to using these native blocks. So we just released the Gutenberg blocks, so that's why when we just added the template, it's inserting the checkout using a short code. So let me go ahead and click right here and remove that. Instead, let me go, let's see, am I messing up the design here? Let's see, I'm going to click on plus, and I'm going to type, let's see, is it just checkout? There it is. Checkout form. This is new, and this is what is being added. And there it is. And so now we have our checkout in here, and off to the right here, we can start styling it. And that's where the big benefit is here. So we can start styling our colors right here. Heading colors, our typography, we can customize our button. Actually down here, we have settings down here. You can change the text on the button. So right here it says, place order. You can change it to get my shiny thing now. You can customize the colors of the payment section right here. And let's see, product option, and we have some features here for styling, some of the features in the pro version. I'm not going to go into that, but here you have it. Now you can make custom checkout pages using Gutenberg. You don't even need a page builder anymore. You can just use Gutenberg and take advantage of a lot of the performance optimizations that are just natively in Gutenberg. And you can have it all right there. So I have full tutorials on this right now I haven't been making a lot of tutorials on cart flows. Let's look at the final version, by the way. I haven't been making, actually, I need to assign a product. Let me go here and assign a product really quick so we can see what it looks like. I haven't been making a lot of tutorials on cart flows because we're revamping the user interface, and it's going to be out later this month, the new updated modernized user interface. Okay, let me show you how to do that. And so when I do that, when that comes out, I'll be making more tutorials on using it. So, all right, so we go down here and we add a product. So I think I have some Photoshop, P-H-O-T-O, Photoshop. There we go, Photoshop course. I'll click on update, and then now we should be able to view the checkout. There it is. And here's our checkout, and there's my product. All right, so I'll be releasing some more tutorials using it. We've added a lot of features to cart flows this year. We added a lead generation step. So you can make with the free version of cart flows, you can make a full sales funnel now. So you drive your traffic to a free offer, which is like a lead magnet, maybe some kind of a PDF or resource guide. And as soon as someone puts in their name and email, takes you up on that, it'll be emailed out, and then we send them to a checkout page that you just saw. And this could be some reasonably priced offer of maybe $10, $20, $30 or whatever you want it to be that can help the person get their result faster. And then after that, you can go to the checkout page. Of course, there's more you could do if you had the pro version. There's A/B split testing, which is really sweet. You can split test your WooCommerce checkout page. There's a bunch of other features that help you generate more revenue. But anyways, the whole point of me showing you this was not that. It's just showing you how we just launched and added native Gutenberg blocks for people that want to take advantage of the performance options. Let's see if there's any questions about this. Does cart flows work well with Cadence theme? Yes, I'm actually using cart flows with the Cadence theme on a website of mine. I don't show this website much, but I can show it. Actually, let me pull it up. Okay, so here's a site. This is using the Cadence theme. You can see I'm using that login. I like this little login header item here. So this is Cadence on a website that I'm building the content in for online courses. Here's a course on creating courses. And then when you click on take this course, instead of sending them this is where I send them to a cart flows checkout page right here where someone can quickly check out. This is using Gutenberg, by the way, that new Gutenberg block. So you can see the colors and the styling. It's subtle. So what I did using the Gutenberg block was I kind of just add a little bit of rounded corners right here in the form fields. I have my font in there, which is Poppins. I added a little bit of rounded corners here in the payment area. I changed this background color to kind of match the cool feel, not cool as in it's cool, but cool as in like the color, the cool looking color, to match that as well. And then I changed the color of the button here, and I put in some custom text here as well. So this is just how I'm using it very minimally right now. I will change this out to a proper, more designed checkout, but this is what I have in there right now. And I like it. It's working perfectly for me, and it's very fast. And I'm using that Gutenberg block. This is good. And Paulo's saying, am I lazy to try Gutenberg harder, or is it just impossible for SEO purposes? No chance. Actually, I don't fully understand everything you're saying, but I think the gist is, and you're not alone, that people find using Gutenberg maybe out of your element. Not out of your element, like there's something wrong with you or your knowledge. It's more, I'm not used to this. I'm used to the drag and drop of page builders. But Gutenberg, you do have some of that, but it's not quite the same. I made a video about why, if you're coming over from a page builder to Gutenberg, why some things don't feel the same, and it really makes sense. And it's helping people make that connection where there's this natural disconnect because of the way Gutenberg works. A lot of it boils down to all of your page builders, you drag and drop an element, right? And then it automatically creates the structural foundation. It adds a column for you. It adds a section for you. And it just it's all there real easy. But with Gutenberg, it doesn't work that way. You can just click on a block and it doesn't put it in a column for you that you can style or a section that you can style. You have to put the section in, then the column, then put the block in, where page builders do those parts for you. You'll have to see that video I made on it, but it's really makes a lot of logical sense. A lot of logical sense. And then you get a lot of the performance benefit. But it doesn't have to be for everyone. If you're comfortable using a particular tool, you don't have to switch to Gutenberg. It's something I think everyone should be dipping their toes in. There's a lot of reasons and benefits to using Gutenberg just from a performance perspective. But there's also a lot of flexibility perspective. You can do some really neat things there that you can't do elsewhere. But I'm not saying people need to switch. But I will tell you that site I just showed you, I'm not using Elementor on it. I'm just using Gutenberg. But of course, you saw it was extremely minimal. So everything I said just makes no sense anyway. All right. So that's building custom sales funnels using Gutenberg with native Gutenberg blocks. But those same blocks are available for you using Elementor. Black Friday is coming up. Black Friday is traditionally a time, if you've been just on the internet, there's a lot of sales that might be the biggest sales of the year. They're all coming up on Black Friday. Every year I put together a list and I have the website up, the page on my site right here. It's WPCrafter.com/Black Friday. You can put your name in there and I'll be sending out notices of all the deals that I find. I'm compiling it all up. There'll also be special deals where I try to get extra for WP Crafter subscribers. And you can go right here and sign up for that. It's been a lot of fun each year. To do this, actually a lot of work as well. But I'm looking forward to all the different sales that are going on. I know the product that I have will have a sale, Card Flows. We're going to have a sale on it. Actually, I'm thinking of doing maybe a different sale just for WP Crafter subscribers next week. But we'll be having a sale on that, but everybody's going to probably be having their biggest discounts. It's usually a time of year where you want to start saving your money for that. I know Cadence Seam's going to have a big sale. Everybody's going to have a big sale. Everybody's going to have a big sale. So I've got the notification list on the website. If you want to be notified, I'll be putting up notifications in the WP Crafter Facebook group. I'm really trying to get extra discounts, though, for people. If a company comes to me and they want to be in the list, can we do something more for the people here? So I'm definitely trying to do that. But I'd love to hear what you're looking forward to or holding out. If there is anything that you're holding out to buy for a Black Friday discount, I'm wondering what that is. If you could put that in the comments. Right now we're in the chat, but if you're watching this later, put that in the comments. It'd be interesting to see what you're waiting for. There's some products that won't do a Black Friday deal. There's some that the deal is not a lower price because they don't want to devalue their product, but maybe they donate some money to charity. That's what the Thrive Themes does. They don't ever discount it, but a portion of purchases goes to a charity. So there's lots of cool things like that. There is an important deal coming out on the 9th. Today's the 6th. I have some details. I will talk about it on the 9th, and that is for RankMath. RankMath is free, and it's probably the hottest, but it's becoming one of the most popular SEO plugins. I love it. I'm using it. I switched from Yoast to RankMath earlier in the year. I have a tutorial on RankMath. Well, they're going to be launching their pro version on the 9th. And I know some of the details, but I don't know all of the details. But as soon as I know the details, I'll let you guys know what those details are, the pricing. They'll probably have some reason to buy it during its launch versus buying it later. A lot of products typically do that. So we'll see exactly what's in there. A lot of the questions people have, the free version of RankMath is so powerful. Like, what possibly could you add for it to be worth it for me to buy it? So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that one. If you are currently using RankMath, if you've noticed, some of the updates starting, I think, about a month ago have added kind of calls to action for the Pro version. So this feature is just for Pro. They've been adding some of that, but not in a spammy kind of way. So I'm looking forward to that. RankMath, it's a great plugin. I mean, it's a really good SEO plugin. I really like it. It's funny, I'm not the only one. Cameron's, I use the heck out of RankMath. And their featured snippets, not only the featured snippets, but they also have no, that is the featured snippets. Sorry, that's it. Rich snippets, but the featured snippets, that's where you're adding using their featured snippets block. That is huge. A lot of people are using RankMath. I mean, it's just the hottest product of the year. I think definitely RankMath is huge. Oh, this is an interesting question. Is it possible to make the speed of a website with less than a second? And I'm saying this because my websites take 1 to 2 seconds to load with Elementor and WordPress. This is from Daniel. Hey, Daniel, that's a great load time. So it depends. So if your website's loading in 1 to 2 seconds, I'm assuming that's the fully loaded time, but that's not really what the website visitor experiences. That is how long it takes to load everything that might be on the page, including scripts. So what the user experiences might be half a second. So depending on what you have loading on your site, it could be a challenge to get under a second fully loaded, but not what someone experiences. So I'm curious of what someone experiences. So if you opened up a new web browser or a private window and went to your website and started just trying to see what a user experiences, I bet you they're not sitting there waiting 1 or 2 seconds. They're having a much faster experience. So of course it's possible. A lot of it boils down to throwing money and time at it. And at a certain point, the juice is not worth the squeeze, if that makes sense. How to make your own WordPress theme? I don't know if it's even a good idea to make your own WordPress theme anymore. I'm not experienced in that, so I never talk about how to make your own WordPress theme. But I don't actually know if that's something that's really needed these days. I think it's more shifted to using a page builder because that's what you build most of it with anyway. So at this point, building your own theme is kind of reinventing the wheel, so to speak, because it boils down to the design, right? I think, there's this debate of, is a page builder going to kill off a theme? And so you see this a lot with Elementor because, especially with Elementor, they have the Hello theme, which is not a theme because everything's done inside of Elementor. But the thing is most of the design is actually done using your page building tool anyway. I think what a theme is more going to revolve around is enabling design. So that's why I was showing you some of the stuff I showed you. I guess the K word is a bad word sometimes. Their focus is on design. How can this theme help you to make a website that's customized faster, that looks great faster? And it boils to what? It boils down to design. It all comes back to design. It doesn't come to individual features. It comes back to design. How can I help you make a website that looks great, fast and painlessly? It boils down to design. So I don't think themes that aren't design focused as far as giving design to the user are going to be as successful. So it's really boils down to design. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. Features definitely need to be there, but I think it boils down to enabling the user to have designs at a rapid pace. Okay. I'm scrolling down here quick. Andy's saying, Adam, I've consulted with many training platforms and they speak very highly of you. I wonder if you're referring to WordPress related training platforms. Is it like LearnDash or Lifter LMS? They're great companies, great founders. Last year, not this year because you can't travel anywhere, but last year I went to a lot of WordPress events. So I went to a local WordCamp. I went to what was it, St. Louis for WordCamp US, and then I went to another event in Arizona, and I just met people. I met people that make the products that we use, and so it was a great opportunity to start building some connections. And so I've met a lot of these people through putting out the effort to do that. Here's a question I don't have a lot of experience in, but maybe someone else does. Have you experienced Ezoic slowing your website down? So Ezoic, there's a lot of parts to Ezoic. I'm assuming the part to Ezoic that you're referring to is the part that puts display ads in. And I think all display ads probably slow down your website. So, but I can't speak from experience as it relates to Ezoic. Except that Ezoic, they approached me a couple times about their website optimization tool, and it just kind of felt like a multi-level marketing scheme. And I'm not knocking that, but that's not my cup of tea. So I never did anything with it. Let's see. Scrolling through here. Oh, and this is great. Paulo's commenting on increasing your page speed. Advice, he says, make use of Elementor without cache plugins. Go for a content delivery network and some tweaks, because after every update, your site gets screwed. I think you're saying that because when you're using caching, you run into problems whenever there's an update. Because of the Elementor caching system. Yes, Elementor has its own caching system, and it does cause some problems for sure. I like to use the content delivery network Bunny CDN. It's so cheap, it's so inexpensive, and it's fast, and I like the stuff that they're doing. Andy has an interesting question. I think he might be asking it because I know I have cart flows, and he's asking, where is the funnel industry headed? I think there's a lot of hot markets right now, and not funnels per se, but just selling products and services on the internet, because the way the pandemic changed things. My question is, are people's buying habits going to go back to the way they were when we can start living normal lives, and how fast that's going to happen? I don't see people fully going back to their old buying habits. I think people are going to prefer buying stuff on the internet that are, the last contingent of people that would only purchase in person. Now they've been forced to purchase everything on the internet. My mom and her husband, they buy everything on the internet. They have everything delivered now on the internet. They have those different delivery services, bring groceries, bring food, bring everything. And I wonder if people's buying habits are going to go back. So I think funnels per se, funnels is just another way of e-commerce. It's essentially e-commerce, but it's another way of doing it more strategically in order to generate more revenue per sale. So I think it's only going to get hotter as people, but the challenge with funnels is not everybody knows what a sales funnel is. So if you're wanting to sell something on the internet, you don't know what the heck a sales funnel is. So there's this confusion, and there's this process of learning on what it is, how to implement it, and the strategies that go behind it. So I think it's just going to grow up and go up. And obviously, ClickFunnels owns the funnel market. I have no delusion about this. Even though CartFlows is a sales funnel building tool, I have no delusion. ClickFunnels owns the market. They're the dominant market leader. That's not going to change. They probably have 80% of the market, but I'd like CartFlows to have at least 10%. You know what I mean? We already have it being more. There's more CartFlows funnels than ClickFunnels funnels, so we've been able to surpass them in that regard. But as far as paying customers, they own that market. They own it. And what the good part is they do the training. So they're training our customers, which is actually really cool. Let's see. All right. Stratos is recommending better hosting to get the 3 seconds down to get a lower TTFB. TTFB stands for time to first byte, TTFB. And some of that can also be reduced with, actually here, let me pull this up. I'm going to probably switch here. So last live stream, it was Saturday, I talked about SiteGround and their new version of their SG Optimizer. And essentially this new version of SG Optimizer enables you to have full page caching on Cloudflare. So the entire page top to bottom is cached. And what that does is it reduces the TTFB. So you can see right here, the TTFB is, here, let me do a refresh on this. These scores have been all over the place, as low as a second, 1.5 seconds. When I was doing this live in the last live stream, it went from 2 seconds down to 1.5 seconds, full page cache. Let's see. We'll see what it's pulling up right now. But anyways, this will reduce that TTFB. There we go, 1.4 seconds. And when I go to the waterfall, right here, the TTFB is 178 milliseconds. So that's like almost 0.2 of a second. Yeah, almost 0.2 of a second. Without full page caching, it runs about 3 times longer. So it was a way to use SiteGround to enable, I'm sorry, I'm getting all technical with you. Anyways, use SiteGround using full page caching with Cloudflare to drastically reduce the TTFB. Anyways. Here's a question. Do I know anything about Infinity Free, which is free hosting? I'll look them up. I don't think I would want free hosting, nor would I want to recommend it, because with hosting, there's no way that they can sustainably offer that. There must be something to it. So, with WordPress, we have free themes and plugins, right? The way they can offer that is there's no cost to them. Maybe providing some support, so it's a minimal cost, depending. But a free hosting, they have costs to host. They have server hosting and bandwidth, server costs and bandwidth costs. I don't know how they can sustainably do that unless they cripple the experience, which is usually what you see in free hosting, where they really cripple the experience and the site is slow and it's just crippled. And they do that to get you in with the free hosting, but then they're really just trying to get you on a paid plan, which is fine, but not if you're crippling the experience. So I have never heard of it, but I'll look it up. Chad saying, can you add, this is regarding Instagram, can you add a call to action to the Instagram post inside of Instagram itself? Instagram doesn't let you put a link inside of a post. You can actually put a link, but it's not converted into a hyperlink where you can just easily tap on it and go someplace. They don't let you do that. You can just have hashtags. Everything is text-based in it. So there's nothing you can do there. And I think the only link Instagram lets you have is on your profile, and that is one link. Yep, just backing me up. Don't know if you trust free hosting. I certainly don't. This is regarding the Instagram plugin, where the question is, I have clients on the fitness niche. I'm afraid that inappropriate content will show on the website. Is this a real concern? Actually, this is funny. Let me show you really quick. All right. So we're going to do this all on the fly, which is good, right? Okay, so I have this feed right here. One of these yoga feeds. And so let me show you this yoga feed on the homepage. Here's the homepage. And when I scroll down, it's going to appear right now. So here's some yoga pictures it's pulling in. So you might not want to just have you might want to be careful if you're using a hashtag feed that isn't just coming from your own Instagram account, because that's the only way you can control. But if you're using a hashtag feed from all of Instagram, this is what might happen. So I've got these yoga pictures, and it's all women with their poses, which is fine. Actually, it looks better right now. Just a moment ago, there was a bunch of, let me see if I load more. There was a bunch of ones of like women in bathing suits doing yoga poses. And I thought, someone's probably not going to want that on their site. But there's the benefit of Spotlight Instagram feed is there's a moderation feature. So let me show you how that moderation feature works really quick. So if I go into this, I'm just going to go into this one. Okay, so here's my images in the feed right now. I can click on the moderate tab right here, and right here I can choose to either hide the selected posts or only show the selected posts. It's easier to do hide. So I might want to hide this one. I might want to hide this one. And so you can hide these see how it changed from color to be kind of grayed out. So watch this, it's in color, now it's grayed out. So this will be hidden. So you have that as an option inside of Spotlight Instagram feed, which I think is really, really cool. And we have Mark here explaining just that. Pez, okay, let me mention this. Okay, so Cartflow's Black Friday deal. We will have a Black Friday deal. I was thinking of doing something next week that would be private and better than Black Friday for a lifetime license and splitting it up over the payment over a few months. If you guys are interested in that, I don't know. If there's enough interest, I'll do it because it'll take a lot of effort. But if there's enough interest in it, maybe hit up the WP Crafter Facebook group saying I would be interested in that. So it'd be a lifetime license, but we'd split it up over multiple months, and it will be a really great price, better than Black Friday, better than anything. So we'll see. Here's from Philip. Would you still advise using Elementor on Cadence or only Gutenberg? In what circumstances would you advise using only Gutenberg? Well, Gutenberg, it depends. Everyone has their preference. So the benefits of Gutenberg, it's just going to be more performant than Elementor. And there's less moving parts because you're already using the block builder that's built inside of WordPress anyway. So there's just less moving parts. But some people start feeling a disconnect with how they build websites using a page builder and then bringing that into Gutenberg. So if you're willing to go through the initial learning curve, it's just doing some things a little in a different order, you're going to be fine and you're going to have a more performant website. Now, there are things that Elementor can do and Elementor Pro can do that you really can't do in Gutenberg just yet. So there's that as well. So it's all personal preference. I think it's all personal. It comes down to personal preference. So for me, I'm trying to do things in Gutenberg. There's some aspects of WP Crafter that need Elementor Pro because of the page template feature. So I don't know. So it just depends on if there's something that can only be done in Elementor. You certainly use Elementor. Oh yeah, Dave's saying he's holding out for the new local ordering product. I'm so excited about this. We finally nailed down a name on it. It'll be hopefully in the WordPress repository for people this month. I'm hoping. It'd be great to get this out before Black Friday. I don't know if that's going to happen. Yes, this is interesting. So Simon's saying WordPress dashboard and edit pages are becoming so cluttered with solicitations for a written review and notifications. It's messy and So this is a problem with WordPress, and it's something I don't like. There's been a lot of discussion that WordPress needs a better notification system. Something similar to what a SaaS app would have, where it's kind of all collapsed in place someplace. So yes, it's definitely a trend. I don't mind being asked to leave a review, because if I'm being asked to leave a review and there's an option that says I've already left one or I don't want to leave a review, and then that goes away and never comes back, I think that's fine. I think that any kind of advertising, though, outside, so for example, if you have a theme Ocean WP used to do this. I don't know if they still do. You would use it, and there would be all kinds of advertisements in there because they're trying to get you to buy, and that's fine. And I guess it's okay in the theme panel, but outside of that theme panel, it's kind of shouldn't be there. I don't think that's a good idea. And they were putting banner ads to get you to buy Pro outside of the theme panel in other areas of WordPress. That's why, because of stuff like that, I never really talked about Ocean WP because I didn't feel comfortable with them placing all these advertisements. So I didn't feel comfortable saying, use this product here. I'm going to use it in a tutorial. And then, you know, they're doing stuff that I don't think is good. So, yeah, I don't think it's good either. They definitely need to clamp down on that. Pez is saying it needs to find a good deal on a live webinar platform. Yeah, those kinds of deals are hard to come by. Definitely a webinar platform deal is definitely hard to come by. There was, I think, one, was it last year for livewebinar.com? It was a pretty good deal. I think you can still get live webinar on AppSumo, but it's a yearly plan. It might be like $100 a year, but so it's not super expensive. But it would be nice to see a deal like that. This is a great question from Max saying, what's going to happen to themes when a full page building is introduced into WordPress? So what full page building is that WordPress is working on? And you can actually demo it right now. You can go to install the Gutenberg plugin. And then when you go into the settings of it, there's an option to enable the full site editing. So you can just kind of experience what it's going to be like and get an idea of what they're thinking with that. Realistically, though, full site editing to be something that's actually usable, my guess is 2 to 2.5 years away. So they will release it. They were going to release it in November, but it's not ready. Actually, I take that back. Some parts of it were going to be in November, and then probably next year would be full site editing. However, they pushed that back. So my guess is this time next year, November next year, full site editing will be added, but it's going to not be fully fleshed out. It'll probably, from that point, take 18 months or 2 years before it's something that is widely adopted by WordPress themes. So that's a long time. And it'll be interesting to see what happens at that time, but it's so far away. So when that happens, I think it'll be a slow progress to embrace full site editing. That's what I think will end up happening. So as it relates to themes, you're probably not going to see, you'll see some experimental themes next year, and then we'll see if it just becomes useful or not. Yes. This comment is, yes, I'm starting to get sad about the speed of Elementor Plus plugins. Getting a good Google Google speed score is almost impossible without deleting 90% of the content. Yeah, that's the trick. That's where it's tricky, is when you're using Elementor and you get sucked into the add-ons. I stopped doing that last year. And you get sucked into using the add-ons, and I'm not bashing add-ons. Add-ons, if you have a project and it requires a particular thing to be added, and you find an add-on that allows you to do that particular thing, that's good, right? Because you're not having to custom code and develop or hire a developer to custom code and develop. But where the challenge is, that add-on, you're now locked into keeping it on your website, and you don't know if they are coding it up to the highest performance standards. More times than not, they're not. A lot of the Elementor add-ons are coming out of emerging countries. I'm trying to be sensitive here. They're coming out of emerging countries where it's kind of a Me Too thing. You know, their friend down the street makes an Elementor add-on, and their friend down the street makes an Elementor add-on, and they're all just doing the exact same thing. And it's more a Me Too, just let's rush this thing out. There isn't anything really unique about it. It hasn't been carefully crafted and built and put together. So that's the challenge. Now, there's a couple things you can do. Let's see, where is it? I'm going to pull it up right here, and I'm going to show you. And some people here can back it up. All right. So here's a plugin. It's called ASSET Cleanup. Right here, Asset Cleanup. So here's a free plugin. I don't use this plugin, but I'm just bringing it up. Okay, so what does Asset Cleanup do? And what are all these third-party Elementor add-ons doing? They're loading stuff related to their plugin on every page of your website, regardless if you're using their plugin or their Elementor modules on that page. It's a mess. Elementor does this as well. So, and a lot of plugins, unfortunately, do this. They're adding the various assets for the plugin, whether or not you're using it. And that's where this plugin comes in. I should make a tutorial on this at some point. I don't actually use it though, but a lot of people do use this plugin. And what this allows you to do is see what's being loaded on a particular page and set it so it doesn't load. So if you're using an Elementor add-on to add one thing to one page, but it's now loading stuff on every page, you can use a plugin like this to make it not load where it's not being used. Another example of this is Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms loads some of their assets on every single page of the site, whether or not you have a form there or not. And you see that with different form plugins. This is the type of plugin that you can add to have it to control what is being loaded on each individual page. I don't actually use this plugin though. I'll show you what I use. Let's see. I'm not recommending anyone go out and get this, but I'm just saying this is what I use, okay? I use Perf Matters. Perf Matters has this as a feature. Let's see. It's not this. Let me see where it is. Disable scripts. No, script manager. Duh, it's right here. So you can go in here and read about it. This is doing the same thing as Asset Cleanup Manager. The only reason I prefer this is it has a nicer, easier to use interface, in my opinion. You can just go here and say, see, Contact Form 7 does it as well. You could say, well, I don't have a Contact Form 7 on this page. Let me toggle that off, and now it will not load when someone visits that page, along with other things right here. So you can read about this type of category of plugin, and it's something you can do to speed up your website when you still are in a spot where you have to use a certain tool. And then we'll wrap this up in like 5 minutes. Can you give some advice about getting work as a freelancer? I put a huge amount of time in learning web development with WordPress, but struggling to get work for the past 2 months. So actually, your comment, it sounds to me like you're just getting started. But then at the second part, I don't know if you're just getting started or you have been doing this and you've had a rough 2 months of getting business. So I don't know which way to answer it. I'm going to answer it as if you are just starting, because that's the impression that your comment gives me. When you're just starting your journey as a website developer, you have to be into guerrilla marketing. What is guerrilla marketing? You have to build a portfolio. You have to be able to build a portfolio that you can say, here's the work that I've done, and have it be really quality stuff, not a template, not some poor quality stuff, but really good stuff. You have to come up with that. And it has to be stuff being used by real businesses on real websites. So what's guerrilla marketing? That is talking to the people you know, asking them, do they know people that might need a website? The places that you frequent for business, like restaurants or other businesses, what do their websites look like? You already do business with them. Can you, if they're small businesses, they're usually easy to get to the owner, especially if you're a customer. Try to get through these barriers. You have to be aggressive and go after it that way. That's how you get started. That's how you get the ball rolling. It's like a snowball. It starts at the very top, very tiny, but you have to get it moving. And then if you can get it moving, then it can roll and roll, pick up speed and pick up momentum. And that's what you have to do. And you have to do it through aggressive guerrilla marketing. None of the spammy, scammy tactics work. So if it's cold emailing actually can work, but I think in a lot of ways the juice might not be worth the squeeze on cold emailing unless you're really salesy and you can get through the person that receives it, because businesses are used to receiving spam mail and they just delete. That's not going to be the solution. I do think it boils down to you getting your foot in the door with businesses through just being aggressive. That's how it is. And then from there, you do good work, then they refer, then you join. In the US, we have what's called the Chamber of Commerce in all these different cities. You join the Chamber of Commerce, then you become known in your area as the guy for this. That's how it has to happen. Of course, there's paid advertising, but I think that should come later when you actually have the revenue coming in. There's simple ways, too, of getting business if you don't have this network through people that you know. Be generous on the internet. So there's countless people that I can say their names, but I won't, that get business through being generous and being helpful, say on Facebook. So you're on Facebook, you are helping answering people's questions. You're not saying, here's an answer to your question, now here's my website, go hire me. You're not saying, oh, I can help you with that, here, hire me. But you're saying, oh, I had that issue with a client this week. Here's how you can fix it. So you're establishing that now people know that you can be hired. You're setting yourself as an expert because you're able to answer questions and you're being generous. And when you do all those three things, a lot of things come from it. I know so many people that have built their entire business off of Facebook groups by being generous, not by being taking and being greedy, but by actually being generous. So anyways, that's my little speech. I'm sure some of you guys could answer that better than me and tell me how you guys got your start. Hey, Dave. Dave's asking who is the other co-founder of Cartflows. You can go to the Cartflows website and actually see. There's the whole story right there. So I'd recommend going to cartflows.com and reading that story. Although that website's going away, we are close to relaunching the website. I'm excited, and the story and all of that is going away. We're just modernizing it. People trust Cartflows already. It's already a market leader, and the story's going away. But I would recommend going and checking out the story. There's a photo of how it all began. Pez is commenting that SiteGround does offer a free CDN with Cloudflare. Yeah, so they have it real easy. You log into SiteGround, you go into the site tools, you click on speed, and you'll see a list of your websites, and you can turn on Cloudflare. Yeah, they have that. It's pretty simple. I still prefer, it's a personal preference, I still prefer Bunny CDN though. I'll pay a couple bucks happily. Steve is saying the best free analytics plugin. I'm assuming this means bringing in, adding your Google Analytics tag to your website, and as well as bringing in some of that data. If you're not using RankMath, I would give it a look. You don't have to switch over to it, but RankMath is an SEO plugin, but it also will add the Google Analytics for you, and it will also pull in the Google Analytics info and present it to you in a meaningful way. So you don't need to have multiple plugins. You could just use the free RankMath plugin. As a matter of fact, that's what I use. Benjamin saying, what's the preferred alternative to Cloudflare? I prefer Cloudflare does a lot of things. So if you're talking about the CDN portion of Cloudflare, I prefer Bunny CDN. It's faster. It's pennies. It's pennies. In my experience, it's been faster. But there's other aspects of Cloudflare that are amazing, including their CDN, but it's the DNS, getting technical, it's the DNS, it's the firewall rules, the rules that you can create, all of that kind of stuff. It's amazing what Cloudflare does. Me personally, I use Cloudflare. I have all my domains at Cloudflare. I use Cloudflare for the DNS for all my websites. I also use their page rules. I do not use it for caching or CDN. I use Bunny CDN for that. And I've never used the paid Cloudflare. I've always used the the free version of Cloudflare. Dark Jedi. Getting different results with GTMetrix. For example, I ran 2 tests. One was 9.2 seconds. Ouch. The second was 6.5 seconds. Any ideas why? So that's a big difference. So just, that's the fully loaded time. Okay. You do want to get that lower, but depending on what is actually being loaded, that's probably not what the users experience. Perfect example. Say you're using a live chat script. So there's a live chat service and they give you a little script that you're putting on your website. Now when someone visits your website, it loads all the page content. And then one of the last things it does is it's going to load that external script. Well, what if that company with the external script, their servers are just a little slow or bogged down in that moment? It's going to take longer to fully load your website, but your visitor's not sitting there waiting. They're interacting, they're doing all their stuff with your website, even though that last little bit hasn't loaded yet. They don't know that. So you can look in GTMetrix at the waterfall. As a matter of fact, I have the waterfall open right here for that site that I showed a little while ago. And so here's the waterfall, and it basically lets you know everything that loads and exactly how much time each little piece took to load. I don't know what's causing that. It's all right here. So you can see and try to diagnose what is causing, what you think might be causing the problem. Philip's saying, I don't know coding. Would I advise in learning coding? No, I do not advise learning coding, but you do need to have a little bit of an understanding of CSS and manipulating it. You'll just get that naturally with time. I don't code, but I know how to take snippets of code and I know how to manipulate them and tweak them, but I'm not sitting there writing custom functions and things like that. And I think you can get away fine. For more advanced projects, you're probably going to need to at least grasp it, and you can either hire portions of it out or get help in certain user groups and do it yourself. But I prefer hiring someone because it'll cost less when you factor in your time. So I don't think it's a necessary skill. Here's a question or a request to make a tutorial on multi-language using WooCommerce and Elementor. I actually made a video on adding multi-language. Now, most of the multilingual solutions for WordPress that are free, you have to pay for the WooCommerce part of it. They're pretty much all that way. So you're going to have to pay for a solution if you have WooCommerce that you want translated. The video I made is on TranslatePress and Elementor, WordPress Elementor, using TranslatePress. And also with TranslatePress, you will need to have the paid version. I think all of them, I'm not aware of a free solution for multilingual. The good news is WordPress is building its own multilingual solution that is going to be part of WordPress. It's not going to be something that you need to purchase. When is this coming? My guess is in 2022. That doesn't help you today, but know that's coming. But for now, you're going to have to buy something. But you can watch that tutorial, and everything that I show you in there is exactly what you would use for WooCommerce, but you just have to get the paid version of TranslatePress. Hey, Deb, you can sign up for the notifications on that page, WPCrafter.com/Black-Friday. Just pop your email in there and I will send. I've been such a bad emailer, but I'm trying to change that behavior. Hey, Kai, yes, I survived the fires, and I believe you are not far from me, which means you survived the fires as well. Thanks for the feedback, Chad. We'll try to take the discussion over to the Facebook group. Hey, Adrian, one of the reasons you watch all my videos is for the timestamps. I'm trying to improve that. It's been a priority this year, is those timestamps, even on shorter videos. So my prior videos probably don't have timestamps. They don't. But most of the stuff this year has timestamps. And I'll try to get it for the live stream as well. I'm glad to hear that, though, because it does take a lot of effort to put those timestamps together. It does. Hey, Amanda is saying, if you only use Gutenberg, do you need to use PHP to be able to use custom fields? So, okay, so you're creating custom fields probably either with native WordPress, because you don't technically even need a plugin to add custom fields, although there are plugins that make it easier, such as advanced custom fields, which I would recommend someone using, or pods. I still use pods. So you're making your custom fields. Displaying them is a pain. You can do it with a short code. I know that Cadence Blocks is working on dynamic content, and they might have it out next month. So you'll be able to use custom fields inside of the blocks that Cadence Blocks makes. So you'll be able to get that in there. I don't know what it's going to look like, though, because it's not released yet. I just know that it's something that they've been working on, and they were hoping to have it this month or next month. It'll be interesting to see, because no other block plugin that I'm aware of supports dynamic content. And right now, the only way to get your dynamic content would be creating something custom with PHP, or using the short code to display the field that a custom fields plugin allows you. So I use pods, and there's like a way of I can display any custom field with the short code, but you can't put that custom short code inside of certain Gutenberg blocks. I hope that answered. So I think a lot of that's going to change next year. There's going to be a big movement towards dynamic content from all the block makers. It won't come from WordPress, though. The PayPal support on checkout on Gutenberg is not fully implemented. Hey, Philippe, I don't know what you're referring to. I showed cart flows with Gutenberg blocks. You can use PayPal just fine with that. Or if you're referring to the WooCommerce blocks plugin and that really snazzy, beautiful checkout experience that they just came up with, you're right. No, it should fully support PayPal, but if you go to look at PayPal payment gateways, there's like 10 of them. So they don't support them all. They only support certain ones. Probably the ones that like PayPal Express Checkout and PayPal Standard, which I believe is just built into WooCommerce. There's no plugin for that. This is a great question, and I'm only going to do like 3 or 4 more questions, and maybe someone already answered this. What do I think of Brizy Page Builder and how it compares to Elementor? I don't know what's going on with Brizy. It doesn't seem to have really caught on the way the potential of it is. I think the flaws, and this is 100% personal preference, to me, I never liked the Brizy interface. So you go in there and I asked them, and they could do whatever they want to do, and I made a suggestion. They should have a brighter version of it, and I don't like the extreme minimalism of the interface. I feel confused, so I would have to be a hardcore user of it to feel super comfortable in it, meaning I use there's no labels on anything. It's just like a bunch of icons. And so you have to learn what those icons mean, or you have to sit there and constantly wait for the tooltip. That's something I think someone tries Brizy, they hit that, they don't see any labels, it's almost hieroglyphic at that point, and they just give up on it. I think that might be the case. I do know there's some controversy around performance as it relates to Brizy. I can't speak to that. I'm speaking to maybe the interface is a roadblock for people. And if you're committed, you're going to learn it. But if you're new, it's just like hieroglyphics. It's just a bunch of icons. I think that's what's holding them back. Here's some great feedback from Carolyn saying, I use Elementor on Cadence, and you find that you can do more with using the templates from Cadence and Envato than you can with just Gutenberg. Yeah, I totally understand that. Gutenberg's something that you have to get used to, and I think it's great that there's options for templates out there. This is a tough one. Sean's got a great question here. What about SEOPress versus RankMath? That's a toss-up. It is. I prefer RankMath. I think RankMath has more features that are useful to me than SEOPress. SEOPress is no slouch. I haven't used either's support. I know that RankMath has a support forum. SEOPress, I've heard some negative things, and I have a flurry of people that have left negative comments on a page on my website for SEOPress about some, and it's all referencing support. So I don't know. I would say if your experience with SEOPress has been good, and SEO and RankMath, it pulls in data from Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools. So if that is not valuable to you, you might as well stick with what works and what already fits in your process. Hey, Clark, I need to make this. Clark's asking if I have a tutorial. Hopefully you're still around to hear this. Clark's asking if I have a tutorial on how I do videos, and probably the live stream, how I'm showing comments on the screen and all that, including the Stream Deck. I've done that in the past, but I haven't done it in a while. I think it might be a good idea to do a new one because the gear that I have, I'm pretty set with. I'm not going to change it. I tend to change the gear and the equipment and the processes that I use regularly to try to improve things. And so they change, but I'm pretty solidly set right now. And I think I could do something like that. And I think it would be beneficial and helpful to people. I'll just quickly let you know, I'm using a program for the live stream that pulls in the comments and allows me to show them on the screen. It's called Ecamm. It's a Mac-only app. I would use a free program such as OBS, except OBS does not allow you to do this with the comments. And for me, that's the thing. So it's worth it to pay the money for Ecamm to be able to show the comments. So yep, I like Ecamm. It's only a Mac program. There are ways of doing something similar on a PC. I don't know if you're a PC user or not, but I use this Stream Deck for everything. Everyone should get a Stream Deck for Black Friday. Everyone should, because they're going to be on sale. All right, I'm probably going to wrap here. I'll leave it with this, and then we'll wrap it up. If I missed your question, please ask it in the WP Crafter Facebook group. All right. The last question is, what do I think of Peepso compared to BuddyBoss? Well, both of these plugins allow you to create a social network on your website. And I think Peepso has a free version, but it's not what you would end up being used. It's more of like a limited demo, and it doesn't really have what you would need in it. So you would be buying it. When you compare the cost, BuddyBoss comes in at a lower cost, but what BuddyBoss did was very smart. They built their own way. They took BBPress and BuddyPress, combined them, made a custom version of it that they support, that they can increase the performance on, they can increase how they work. And so they kind of have their own full thing going on, where Peepso, actually Peepso does have their own thing going on as well. I think it's one of those things where you're going to have to use both. I'm going to say my personal preference is BuddyBoss. They have a well-established team behind them and a ton of momentum behind them with what they're doing. Like, for example, they just announced, and it's coming out, I think, later this year or early next year, they have an app. So it's a monthly fee, but it's not that expensive for what it does. You can have your network that you create be an app. So stuff like that is why I have the most faith in BuddyBoss if I was to compare the two. From a user interface perspective, when I compare the two, and this is the most subjective thing at all, the design of BuddyBoss to me is much more polished and something that I would like to use versus the design in Peepso. So from a design perspective, I think BuddyBoss is much, much better. So you have to look at them like that and make your own decision. I kind of am like a design snob, so I will look at design and I will make a lot of decisions based upon that, like my initial impression. And so you can't touch the BuddyBoss design. You can't touch that thing at all. So anyways, this has been probably the most fiery live stream, which is totally fine. I'll leave this up, of course. I'm transparent. People can see the comments like this and respond how they want to respond. That's fine. I want to repel people one of two directions. I want to either repel them away from me or closer to me. And I think this live stream will do exactly that. So I win in the end with that. I appreciate all you guys that joined and participated and watched today. I hope you learned something, got your question answered. If you didn't, you can ask me over in the WP Crafter Facebook group. Other than that, have a great Friday, and I will see you in the next one.